Alright guys, bringing you another tips video. I haven't brought you one of these videos in a while, but since I'm back, I wanted to make this one for a while, and using this tip, trading around the futures market and lining it up with the currency market is one of my all-time favorite ways when I trade the supply and demand. Because they have such a big correlation. If you're going to be trading the futures market, well, you usually just trade there's lots of futures market, but if you're going to stick to currencies, you can do the pound, right? The Aussie, Euro, Japanese, you can do every single currency in the futures market. But it's nice if you're trading the Forex market, you can line it up and have that correlation going with all the Euro pairs, all the pound pairs. And it lines up perfectly with all the supply and demand. So I'm going to show you guys, I talk about it in my other videos about how you want to be using the currencies or the futures market to line up your trades. It's one of my favorite methods, and we're going to be going over it today. So we're going to bring up two charts just so you guys can get the grasp of it. On the left is going to be the futures chart, and on the right is going to be our Forex side. So we're going to be looking here at the Euro futures. On the left, we're going to stick to the daily charts, but you can see how they look the exact same. And if we go to any other chart, which we're going to do in the Euro, they're all going to be around the same. So let's look at the left right here. If we have a base drop right here, the supply zone, and when I see the currency market line up with this coming up into the supply, I know that the majority of the Forex market pairs, like the Euro USD, the Euro Pound, the Euro Aussie, all the other ones, are probably lining up with supply too. So if I see the Euro futures in supply and I see on my futures or my Forex charts that it's not in supply or it's sitting in demand, I'm not going to trade it because it's the complete opposite correlation there. So here we have the Euro US dollar on the right and the Euro futures on the left. We can see how price had a base drop, and here now on the right, you can see the exact same level. Right? So when price came up into there, I knew that was a higher selling probability than if it wasn't. So if you look all the way back, you can see this big rally. Look on the left side. Look on the left side here. I'm circling it. We have this drop-based rally, and the euro went straight up for about 2 weeks. Now, what happened on the Euro USD? Here's the exact same date. It went up straight up for 2 straight weeks. What did it come up into? I knew that when it came up into supply, I was also watching this zone too. This rally-based drop here, that one got blown through. You can see it tried to hold, but it ended up gapping right through to the weekend. So where did it come up into? It came up into supply in the left, came up to a rally-based drop. That told me that I don't want to be necessarily buying the Euro futures right now. And you can see on the right side, it lined up perfectly with the Euro USD. All right, so let's just go check out, let's start with pound then. Let's go, we're going to change the left side to a pound chart. And we can see the setup. We can see over the past, starting from here, we had a big rally up in the pound. So all the pound pairs, not all the time, just a general time that, if they're going to be rallying up, most of the pound pairs are going to be rallying up. So let's switch up to, on the right, the pound. We did Euro USD last time, so let's do like pound CAD. Okay. So here we have this drop base rally. It's the exact same time here on the left. The rally started on April 30th. What happened on April 30th? The pound started rising very much. What did it come up into? Where did it start dropping? It came up into supply right up here, right? Where did it start dropping from pound CAD? Well, it came up into the supply zone right up here. Right? So it's just a good market timing. Now, if we switch it up, let's go pound Aussie. You have the same rally starting right here. On the right side, we're looking at pound Aussie now. Big rally up, and it came down for the past 3 days. Same with the pound futures. It's rallied down for the past 3 days. Now, you're not going to get this correlation every single time, right? But, it's probably about a 50-50 chance. But if you want to be, this is why it's one of my favorite setups, because I like to line it up with my futures market. And especially if you're taking day trades, you probably want to be making sure that it lines up on the futures market side. So let's check out, let's switch it up to the yen. The yen's been on a tear for the past couple days. Let's pick up CAD yen. Let's try CAD yen. Now you're going to see an inverse correlation. So you're going to see the CAD yen falling because the Canadian dollar is the base pair. So if the Canadian yen falls, that means the yen is gaining strength and the Canadian dollar is losing strength. Here on the left side, we have the yen futures. You can see where since April 24th, the big rally started. When did the Canadian yen start falling? Well, it started falling around April 19th. That's when it really started falling. You can see it started drastically falling. So now where did it come up into? The yen futures come up into the supply. What I liked about this on the CAD yen, I've been watching it, but I never got in an opportunity today, was this setup right here. Because it just rebounded so fast. It's like a hidden zone. We go into the 4-hour. We'll probably see it pretty well. So this was a zone I was watching. I was looking to get it in, but as you can tell, it just touched it and ricocheted out. Maybe if it pops up a bit more, I might try to catch a rebound. Well, let's stick to the yen future, or to the futures market. Let's check out New Zealand. Let's switch it up to the weekly chart. Let's go, sorry, I should do this side. Left side is the futures market. Let's go New Zealand. New Zealand Swiss. That's an odd one. Let's do yeah, screw it. New Zealand Swiss. Do we see any correlation? This is not. This is gonna be the weekly. Oh, well, you can see it started. The big rally started down here, and rallied all the way up. So in the yen, in the New Zealand futures, you can see we had the drop-based rally. The yen or the New Zealand gained a lot of strength. Where did that start off? October 8th. October 8th is when the big rally started. So it's nice. Let's go back to the daily chart. And we'll switch up the New Zealand Swiss to New Zealand yen. Okay. You can see the New Zealand just drastically falling, and you're going to see the New Zealand drastically falling. So how can you time it up? You want to make it sure before you say, okay, I'm going to get long the New Zealand yen. You want to get long the New Zealand yen, but maybe the New Zealand futures is sitting in supply. Well, you probably don't want to be getting long then. But if it's sitting in demand, it's a good opportunity to get long. Let's check out one more, the Canadian futures. Let's check out the daily. Now let's check out CAD. Which one we haven't done? Let's try to flip the switch. All right, let's do CAD now. Canadian. This needs to be Canadian. This is off the top of my head, guys. I try to give it to you straight, and then we're gonna try to time it up with the Dow Jones too. So it doesn't just work in the Forex market; it works in the the stock market too. Canadian. Let's go USD CAD. That's a popular Canadian pair. I don't want to get too exotic here. Daily. All right. Let's scroll in. This was a setup that I had on my trading view. I talk about it all the time. Was this inverse or the head and shoulders here on the left side, the Canadian futures. We have the shoulder here. We have the head and the other shoulder. We are looking at a big drop here. Where was this on the euro or the USD CAD? Now this is going to be flipped. So it's probably not the best example, but right here you have the head and shoulders on the right side. Here's the shoulder. Here's the head. It lines up perfectly. Look how I have the crosshairs labeled up on the left and right at the same time. Here's the head, and here's that other shoulder. You can see the shoulder touched, hit the head. Same here on the left side. Shoulder came up, touched supply, and the Canadian fell drastically. So what's going to happen with the USD Canadian? The Canadian's going to lose value, so the US dollar is going to shoot up. What happened? The US dollar shot up completely, right? So let's go check out the stocks. Let's go S&P. Let's go Dow Jones on one, and then we'll do stocks on the other. So let's check out it's one of the biggest one, APPL. All right, let's try to keep it to the dailies. Let me clear my charts. So as you can see, Dow Jones, who are on the left, has lost an incredible lot, has fallen a lot, lost a lot of value. What's going to happen on most of the Dow Jones levels? It's going to fall, right? So most of the Dow 30s, they're going to fall too because it's the average. It's taking the average of the uh, stocks in the top 30. What's it coming into? It came up into demand. So here on the left, look at the left, Dow Jones, this is just the indice, came up into demand. What is it on the right? When did this move start? 28th of March. 28th. It happened right here. This is when the big rally happened right here. At this level was when that level that we talked about. Where is it coming down to? It's coming down into demand right now. It's sitting in demand right now. So you're not going to have that best correlation because it is the Dow Jones and Apple, so it's different market. Well, not different markets, but stock and an index, they're just different a bit. But it's nice to have that correlation. It will let you know. Say if you have the Dow Jones sitting in, let's check it out. Here you have the Dow Jones sitting in supply, big supply up here, right? Now maybe Apple's at like an all-time high or something like that. Nope. You can see Apple came straight up into supply, just missed it. So that's one of those chances where you might have just missed it. Sucks, but maybe there's other Dow 30 companies that are coming up into supply. Let's check out. All right, so let's check out Tesla. Tesla. I have no idea if this is going to line up. No, so Tesla's been on getting shit on. So, they don't always line up, but it's nice when you can line it up with the Dow Jones and supply or demand, and then you line up another opposing stock lining up with that. It's just going to give it an extra probability, extra odds enhancer. It's something that I like to use in my currency market. So let's go down to, which one haven't we seen? Swiss? No, I don't want to do Swiss. New Zealand. Let's check out one. We'll do one more. New Zealand. New Zealand CAD. We'll do New Zealand CAD. Move all that. Let's go back to the daily. I know I might be going a bit fast, but you can see the New Zealand's been falling a lot, right? Came up into supply here. Here we had a drop, base drop. Price rallied up and dropped. What happened on this side? Let's see. There was no real drop, base drop on the New Zealand CAD, but there's probably one on the New Zealand USD, which is one of the majors. Aha. So there you go. If you want to try timing it up with all the USD pairs, New Zealand, that's where you're going to get the best value. But we didn't even do the US dollar. We should do the US dollar next. Here, New Zealand USD. Drop, base, drop. On the futures, drop, base, drop, you have that exact same correlation. Let's check out that US dollar now. Now we're just rinsing and repeating. Just kind of trying to drill it into your guys' head. Here's my US dollar. Here. Switch it around. The US dollar, we're looking at on the daily chart. And let's switch it up to what's one we haven't looked at, pound US dollar. All right, so pound USD. Pound USD. Here we have on the left side, rally base rally. The rally started on April 23rd. Let's go to April 23rd. Oh, right here. It's going to be inverse of each other, right? So if it was USD pound, it'd be the exact flip. I don't know. Can we do that? USD GBP. There we go. We could flip it, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. We have that rally base rally, exact same. Let's switch back. I don't like you doing that. You guys shouldn't do that either. I don't recommend that. Here was that on the pound. You're going to see that because let's talk about it for a second. the US dollar is going to be rallying up, base rally. So on the inverse side, the US dollar is gaining strength, so the pound's going to be losing weakness or losing strength. So here we're going to have that drop, base, drop. What did it come into? Came up into this demand area on the left side. This is the pound US dollar, came up into this demand and rallied up. And that's where the US dollar lost a lot of steam. Let's see if it lines up with any supply. Let's stick a line at the top. There's nothing really. Sure, if you go into the weekly, there is some supply up there. It is tested, but it is supply up there. And that's it's a rally-based drop right there. Rally-based drop. Price came up and tested it and dropped. It just doesn't look very good on the daily. There's nothing to, it's all tested in each other. But I hope you guys get the concept of that. That's something that I like to use in all my trading when I'm trading any single pair. When I execute a trade, I always pop down. You can even, very quick, let's check out the euro on the 1 minute or the 1 hour. And we'll go back to the euro USD. Shall we do that? Euro. Go to the 1 hour. You're going to see this exact same. Look at it. It is the exact same chart setup. Big rally up, big rally up. Where's this drop? Here's this drop. Drop down. This is the 1 hour. Big drop down. So if you're going to be trying to get long, well, if you see on the right the euro US dollar falling and it's into this demand right now, but on the futures market, it's not sitting in there. It's like way up here. Well, it's probably not. You could take the trade, but it's just not a better probability trade setup. So that's just something I like to do in my trading. If you guys want, you can integrate it or just peek through once in a while. You know, every week draw out the weekly zones about, hey, where's the US dollar sitting? Where's the yen sitting? And then you go on the daily saying, hey, well, the yen's sitting in daily supply. I probably don't want to be buying any yen pairs, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want. Cheers.